Have you ever felt like no matter how much you achieve, something still feels missing? You work harder, dream bigger, chase more money, more success, more validation. But even after getting some of it, the happiness never stays for long. Because sometimes, the more we chase, the emptier we become. And this is the story of a man who learned that lesson too late. So stay with me, because this story might change the way you look at your own life. Far away from noisy cities, there was a quiet little village where life moved slow. No traffic, no pressure. Lived an old man named Harry. His house was small, old, and worn by time. The paint had faded. The roof creaked softly in the wind, but somehow, the place still felt peaceful. Harry lived alone. His wife had passed away many years ago. The kind of pain that never fully leaves. His children had moved to the city, searching for bigger dreams. Still, Harry never complained. Every morning before sunrise, he would quietly step outside, into the cold fresh air. He loved those silent moments. Before the world became noisy, the sound of birds, the wind through the trees, the soft morning light touching the fields. For Harry, these small moments were enough. Behind his house was a tiny garden, a few vegetables, some herbs, and one old mango tree. That tree barely gave any fruit each year. But whenever the first mango appeared, Harry smiled, like a child seeing treasure for the first time. Sometimes he ate it himself. Sometimes he gave it away, to a hungry child, to a tired neighbor. And every time, he softly whispered, "Enough is a beautiful thing." Harry wasn't rich, he wasn't famous. But deep inside, he was at peace. Until one day, a stranger arrived. And with just a few words, that peace slowly began to break. The stranger was young, well-dressed, and always in a hurry, when he saw Harry's small house and garden. He looked confused. "This is all you have?" Harry smiled gently. "Yes, The young man shook his head, "You're wasting your life here. This land could make you rich. You could grow more, sell more, build more." Harry listened quietly. "You could have a better life," the stranger said. Harry looked at him calmly and asked, "What would make my life better?" The young man answered instantly. More. That one word stayed in Harry's mind long after the stranger left. That night, Harry couldn't sleep. He expanded the garden, worked longer hours, bought more tools, planted more crops. Soon, the garden became larger than ever before. People praised him, they called him successful. But inside, Harry felt tired. The birds stopped coming. His peaceful mornings disappeared. Even his tea became rushed, like another task to complete. And no matter how much he achieved, something inside still felt empty. One evening, Harry sat alone, holding the biggest mango he had ever grown, perfect on the outside. He took a bite, then suddenly stopped. It had no sweetness, not because the fruit had changed, but because he had changed. Harry slowly looked around his giant garden and realized something heartbreaking. He had spent so much time trying to improve his life that he had forgotten how to live it. Then comes a moment when everything slows down, and a strange question appears in your mind. Why don't I feel happy, even after getting what I wanted? You start looking around your life. Everything seems fine on the outside, but inside, something still feels missing. Not money was the problem. Not success was the answer. Not people's approval could fill that space. Because the real problem was never outside. It was something inside you that was never healed. The young traveler sat beside Harry, still unable to understand him. The village was quiet, the house was old. Life seemed so small, yet Harry looked more peaceful than anyone he had ever met. After a long silence, Harry finally spoke. "When I was young," he said softly, "I also wanted more. More money, more success. A bigger life." The traveler listened carefully. Harry looked toward the fields, where the morning light slowly covered the earth. "I spent many years chasing things I thought would make me happy, and for a while, I believed they did. But happiness that depends on more." Harry smiled sadly. "Never stays for long." The wind moved gently through the trees. One day, I stopped asking, "What else do I need?" And I started asking, "What do I already have?" The traveler looked down quietly. Harry pointed toward the small garden behind his house. A little food, a roof that still stands. Morning birds, fresh air. Then he smiled softly. "And memories of people I loved." For a moment, the traveler said nothing because deep inside, he knew Harry was right. In the city, he had everything he once dreamed about, but peace? Peace was the one thing he never found. The sun slowly rose higher in the sky. And for the first time in many years, the traveler stopped thinking about the future. He simply sat there, listening to the birds, beside an old man who had discovered something the world had forgotten.